This is On Air with JP. On today's show, Katie Lee joins the program today and talk about what they're doing over on Z103. Another world record for the Idaho man from Meridian. Got the Nitty Gritty for you. One way to save money this year, according to the experts, and it'll be something interesting, probably something you haven't heard of. Recalls are a good thing when it comes to vehicles, and we'll talk about good people doing good things. Oh, and I'm just wondering. It's coming up. Let's get to it. 105 The Hawk, number one for New Country. Ladies and gentlemen, to my right, the ever-impressive and the always missed Katie Lee.
Your favorite is back for a second.
We sure miss you.
I miss you too, don't worry.
How is life on Z103?
It is, hey, we just found out that Tom Holland and Zendaya are engaged.
Oh, good for them.
Do you know who that is?
I do.
Spider-Man.
I do know that's Spider-Man.
Okay.
And I did know who she was. And
Okay.
I'm actually kind of surprised by that. So we've talked a little bit about your big contest that you've got going on. It's kind of a standard at Z103 at the beginning of the year, the number one baby bump. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, Idaho's number one baby bump delivered by Mountain View Hospital's new NICU. If you have a rockin' baby bump, if you are expecting a little bundle of joy coming soon.
Or you know somebody that is.
Exactly. You need to go and take a picture of that baby bump. Go submit it on any of our apps. You can do it on any of the Hawk apps. We'll have the link up there for you. Submit that photo, and then you will be entered to win all the things that you would need for a newborn's nursery. So that includes the crib, glider rocker, changing table, swing, a lot of other stuff.
You got diapers?
Oh, we got lots of diapers.
Okay.
Lots and lots of wipes. Don't you worry. We are prepared for all of your messy baby needs.
All right.
But there's also another thing that we added in this year is a newborn baby photo shoot.
Yeah, those are always great. It's always nice to be able to look back and see the first handful of moments.
Exactly.
You know, well, maybe not the first handful of moments, but, you know, within the first couple of days.
Yes.
Those pictures are the ones we don't want, for sure.
Anyways.
All right. So Idaho's number one baby bump with Katie Lee and Z103. You can go sign up right now through the Z103 app or through the 105 The Hawk app as well. How long away until the drawing?
Well, so it's going to be, we're getting submissions right now, and then we're going to go through a voting period.
Okay. All right.
So once you submit your photo, make sure it's a photo that you want everybody to see.
Okay.
And then we'll do a voting period where everybody votes for their favorite, and then we'll combine the top voted photos, and we'll pick a winner from those ones.
All right. Very good.
So it'll be,
Z103's number one baby bump.
Yeah.
With Katie
Idaho's
Lee.
number one baby bump.
Idaho's number one baby bump. So get signed up through either the Z103 app or the 105 The Hawk app. I don't know how many of you are starting off the year right. I don't know if I am. I think I'm doing a pretty decent job of it. Nobody is starting the year off as right as the man from Meridian, Idaho, the serial Guinness World Record breaker David Rush has put his name back on the top of another Guinness World Record with the most behind-the-back basketball passes in 1 minute. So this guy, he has got the most Guinness World Records concurrently at one time. And he decided that, hey, somebody broke my record. I'm going to break that. He originally broke this record a handful of years back with his neighbor, 61 behind-the-back passes in 1 minute. Their record was broken by another duo who managed 65. David Rush doesn't like to be outdone. So he got his lifelong buddy and basketball fan, Chris Stump, to work with him. They retook the title, starting off the year right with another Guinness World Record. They were able to pass the ball behind their backs 70 times in 1 minute. That is crazy. I don't know how many Guinness World Records this guy has at right now, but concurrently the most. And what do you do? What kind of work do you do where you can sit around and nonstop attempt to break world records? And he does it for STEM research or education, STEM education. So good for him. Another world record. I wish I had the time to figure out how to maybe even attempt to break one. Good on him, though. Still kind of quiet around Music City right now. However, over the weekend, Riley Green had an incident. sent him to the emergency room. You may have seen this on social media earlier today. He stepped on a nail while he was out hunting, and it managed to go through his boot and into his foot. Doesn't sound good. He shared the story on his Instagram. He was in pretty good spirits, laughing at the fact that when he took his boot off, when he got to the hospital, a bunch of corn fell out of his boot. Now, I need somebody to explain. I haven't Googled this. Why would he have had corn in his boot? I'm going to assume for warmth, maybe? I don't know. So if you can explain that one to me. The nurse was kind of shocked as to why there was a bunch of corn on the floor when she came in. Riley said, "It's from my boot. You don't want me to take the other one off either." She said, real world problem. So he was released and was able to go back hunting if he wanted to after he left the emergency room. So nothing too serious. Post Malone, from all accounts, everybody says he's a pretty good dude. Christmas Eve, $20,000 tip to one waitress, because why not? Renee Brown was working and away from her 9-year-old daughter Christmas Eve. She was working at a place called the Rail Yard in Houston, which is kind of a little dive bar. Post and Shabuzi showed up and sat down on the patio. The regulars were kind of murmuring. She got everybody to calm down and said, it's a neighborhood bar. I'm sure he picked a place like this for a sense of normalcy. So the crowd left him alone. Post basically said, "You know what? I'm going to tip you $20,000. Everybody in the bar bought his drinks. His tab was $1. He gave her $20,001. She immediately broke down crying. Very emotional night. $20,000. Great. Yeah. Post Malone sounds like a real good dude for sure. That there, friends, is the Nitty Gritty. This is 105 The Hawk, number one for New Country. I'm JP. Resolutions? Are you working on some? Are you working on just being better? Maybe not full-fledged. You're stern with it. I'm going to be this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to lose all this weight. I'm going to not do that anymore. I'm going to save all this money. Saving money is a big one, and it always is at the beginning of the year. In fact, right now, 73% of Americans, 73% are worried about finances. Not just because of after the new year, just overall. Some experts are saying there is one simple thing that you can do to help you save more money this year. And it's not going through the drive-thru or not going through the coffee line. None of those types of things. This is a good one. I'm going to have to check to see how many of these I have on my phone. But it is deleting easy payment apps off of your smartphone. Click of a button, you can buy it. Get on Amazon. I want that. Click. Done. Where'd the money go? I don't know where it went. I'm afraid to go back and look at some of the stupid stuff I've purchased. Not around Christmas time, but right? I want to get that for her and that for him. And, oh, my wife would love that. I want that right there. You know what I'm talking about? So if you're looking at saving money, maybe you're planning for a summer trip, those types of things, easy payment apps off your phone might be one of the best things you do for yourself this year. I'm JP, and I'm just wondering, as the NFL playoffs are set to get underway now, my team did not make it in. Dang Denver Broncos beat the Chiefs yesterday. And I'm not one of these guys that buy the fact that, the Chiefs didn't want to play the Bengals. They didn't play any of their starters at all. So now that the playoffs are set, did your favorite team make it in? And who do you want to see win it all? I've got a handful of teams. I like the Chargers. Bills, I won't mind. That's in the AFC. Then the Vikings or the Lions in the NFC. So Monica says my team did not make it, but I'm rooting for the Vikings. My buddy Dustin is a huge Vikings fan, and so is my buddy Brady. So Jennifer says go Washington. Jeremy says Packers, but need to play better than they did yesterday. Go Bills from Misty. Kat, Detroit or Buffalo. She also said, I wouldn't mind seeing Bo Nix take the Broncos far. Let's see, TJ, that blue and silver, go Lions. My team didn't make it. Kim, she says Bills or Lions. A lot of people going for the Bills or the Lions. There's Stacy with the Vikings. Zach Scott, I agree. Anyone but the Chiefs. Yes. Janelle says my team did not do good this year. Tampa Bay. I wouldn't mind seeing Tampa Bay figure something out. I'm happy for Baker Mayfield there. Christy says Bills and Eagles. Dave, Detroit and Buffalo. A lot of Detroit and Buffalo. There's another one for the Broncos. Yeah, so go ahead and sound off. Just having a little fun now that the NFL playoffs are set. Did your favorite team make it? And who do you want to win? Who do you want to see win it all? I'm JP, and I'm just wondering. I know that a lot of people think that car recalls are annoying, and sometimes they are. This is one that I think, for the most part, that recalls are a good thing. You know, there's still the human element involved in some portion of the vehicle making. And this recall for Kias is kind of amusing, but kind of not. They're recalling roughly 23,000 EV9s, their electronic, their electronic vehicle. Kind of a good-looking car. Apparently, one of the employees who was responsible for bolting in the seats admitted that, well, there may have been a handful of vehicles that went out where I didn't get the third row seats or the second row seats bolted in properly. So if you've got an EV9, you might want to take a look at it. Total of 22,883 EV9 models. You probably have a notification somewhere in your email. Forgot to bolt in the second and third row seats all the way. All right. See, in this case, yeah, recall. It's a good thing. Time to talk about good people doing good things on 105 The Hawk. I'm JP, and we've talked a little bit about NFL. The Broncos made it in to the playoffs. The Bengals did not. However, 2 weeks ago, the Broncos and the Bengals played a football game against each other in Cincinnati. And a pretty cool story here. Patrick Surtain, who's a defensive back for the Broncos before the game started, saw a interesting situation in the stands where a young boy who lives in Cincinnati is somehow a Broncos fan. For Christmas, Levi's father, who is a Bengals fan, Houday, gave his son a Patrick Surtain jersey and tickets for the family to go enjoy the football game. They were seated right off of the field, and before the game started, Patrick Surtain saw Levi and went over and gave him a football, an NFL football. Levi was thrilled, obviously. I think that'd be really cool. As they were leaving the stadium, however, they weren't able to keep the football. The security guard said, you can't go. It's a property of the NFL. Needless to say, Patrick Surtain worked his way back to get in touch with the family. The NFL also reached out. So did the Cincinnati Bengals. Levi has his football back. So really cool. Patrick Surtain. I hope he becomes a Bengal next year. Wishful thinking. He is good people doing good things. Thanks for listening. And get the full show with your favorite songs and artists each weekday between 2 and 7 on 105 The Hawk.